when Olabisi Onabanjo, formerly Ogun State University, was established, all the Ogun State indigenes that were working in different universities came to be the foundation staff. My parents started from University of Ibadan. They worked at University of Benin, moved to Ilorin. They were at Ilorin when OSU started, so they moved to OSU. So technically, I grew up in Ijebu since '83. That place we lived, I observed something almost every day. Somebody will knock the door, call us out. For one thing, every morning, you know what the thing was? Help me push my car. Now that thing began to affect my head. How can these people be so learned? Professors, doctors, we have to help them push their cars every morning. So I began to tell myself, is civil service worthy? So when I graduated, and so that one I did for a month, I wanted something different. So I moved to Abuja to live with my sister, and I was making phone calls. I got the gift of a Nokia 3330. I looked at what I had that I could start life with. I bought umbrellas and tables. That was Akubwa, and I started the business. And in 1 month, I made like 3 times what they paid me when I was working. Second month, the same thing, but something happened to me again. I resumed in the morning, people would be making calls. But I was asking myself, is this how you want to spend the rest of your life? So by the end of the second month, I told my sister I was going back to ijebu. And they were like, what's wrong with you? I said, no, I'm still young. I don't want to spend my life like this. And my father said, already suit me. What do you want to do with your life? I said, I actually don't know, but I'm willing to experiment. So one of my mentors said something. He said, don't wait till you know what to do. Try different things. Then you will find out the one that suits you. So that said, will you try farming as a business? My first archery was 500 fingerling. I repeated it, I had about 900. That wasn't something I wanted. Research told me 90% of commercial hatcheries were producing 10,000-20,000 fish. I said I wanted an hatchery that could produce 20,000 fish. And I was doing everything. Then one day my father returned from work with a newspaper publication on quality of fingerling, blah, blah, blah. But that publication was written by somebody called Benga Yeni. And daddy said, the reason I brought this for you is Benga was my student. I taught him practicals. I said, do you have his contact? Call him now. Benga Yeni read zoology at OSU. He graduated in 1995. So my dad called him and connected us. And I spoke with him. I'm interested in this thing now. And he said, oh, your dad was good to me while in school. Why not? Come over. So I signed my apprenticeship letter for 60 days. And I went to Ibadan. My dream was how many fingerling? 20,000. They told me it comes around 7. So I waited to see him. And I asked, why do you come daily? And he made a statement, if you want to learn about fish, you work in the night. The third day, I was allowed into the hatchery. And I screamed. He had 2 rooms. One exactly this size, then another one. We entered the bigger room first. And I saw 200,000 juveniles in this small room. We went to the fingerling session. I saw over 500,000 fingerling. Recirculating aquaculture system is using technology to recycle water to grow fish. Made all the difference. That was where I was first exposed to technology in farming. They use a biofilter imported from Holland. When I was looking at the system they had, I was calculating how much do I need to set up my own farm and all that. A smaller farm, the minimum size of biofilter I could buy was 500,000. My father said, no, I've helped you, I can't. So I continued my training. But before I finished the training, several things happened. One day, how many of you know a stone called Puma stone? That's the stone women use to wash. Some call it volcanic rock or something. That stone has holes. I saw one day, and as I was looking at the stone, this stone, the surface looked like biofilter surface. Because the biofilter is a material where you culture bacteria. And I was like, this stone can culture those bacteria, but how do we arrange it? Then I saw Coca-Cola crate. You know that crate has 24 holes and it's rectangular. What if I drop one stone in one hole and stack it? It will work. But where will I get so much stone and that crate? And he said, oh, after work we went to OJ. I saw stone in bags. Whatever owns Coca-Cola crate, Coca-Cola roundabout. Spending less than 80,000, I built my own hatchery. After my 2-month training, I started my own farm. 5 weeks after, I had a friend, he's from Ijebu. They have a very big farm. He had an hatchery. He was producing 5 to 10,000 fingerlings. So when I counted my fishes after 5 weeks, I called him to come. And he came. And he saw fish. He said, my friend, and he spoke in Yoruba, Otishogu. The meaning is, you have done money rituals. Guess how many fishes I had? I counted 80,000. I couldn't believe in myself. The guy looked, and I asked him a question. who will buy them? Because my dream was 20. He said, buy. He brought his phone. Papa, call somebody. Now, this farm is in Ilaporu region. He called somebody in this Abeokuta. It was 2004, May. June said, wait for me on that farm. It was close to 2 hours. This person came. A woman. And she followed us to the ashray. And she entered and saw fish. And she said, young man, I need 20,000. That was our first booking. I said, deposit. When we calculated, she opened her bag. She brought out $300. She did not have naira. We calculated the naira equivalence of $300 and she dropped it. And she said, have they bought the rest? I said, no. She took her phone. She called 3 people. They bought all the 80,000 same day. So when she left, I stood there and I made a statement. I said, I don't need any pastor or any imam or any herbalist to tell me that I have found my life vocation. How can somebody come to pay me dollars in ijebu? I don't know if you know what I'm saying. And that's my story. From 80,000 to 500,000. I couldn't help it. I began to train a lot of friends. If I can still remember, I didn't know when I had trained over 200 people. But I remember somebody called me and said, you are training your competitors. I said, Bone, the market is huge. All I could say is, my friends that graduated from school, all were coming to learn how to produce fish. And they were moving to Jos, Abuja, Kaduna, Lagos. All you need to do is rent a 2-bedroom apartment. The sitting room and 1 room, put down, you will live in 1 room. Connect all the pipe to your bedroom. It's a circulatory system. All these IBC white tanks. That's all. We cut it into 2. And one day I stood, I said, see the amount of jobs we have created unknowingly. So I didn't pray to know what to do. It happened like that. But I found it was working. Now, my first set of fishes were sold through depot. That time fingerling was 7 naira. He was a breeder. I was selling to him at 5 naira. He would sell at 7 naira. He sold my 80,000 fishes and was making 2 naira profit. I had sold all those fishes before I remember. I didn't tell my oga. Come and see. So I called Mr. Yeni. So Mr. Yeni came. When he saw what I did, especially my biofilters, he said, I'm proud of you. He said, so henceforth, every month, you will give me 50,000 fingerling at 5 naira. And he brought out his check and wrote a check for it and gave me. For 1 good year, Mr. Yeni was buying 50,000 every 6 weeks. One of the things that gave me stability, confidence in myself, it opened my eyes that technology is an enabler. Technology is a maximizer, and technology can transform something that doesn't look like it. I also learned another lesson. I learned that with a small space, you can do a lot. The third thing I learned is, which is one of the things that gave room to BIC farms being able to do all we have done in hydroponics technology. I learned to think like a beginner. I could ask, what can I do with it? And I will tell you the importance of that. Our vision is to make sure that this continent can feed ourselves and then feed the world. I'm a Christian. I read in the Bible that some years back there was famine all over the world. Everybody ran to Egypt. Egypt fed everyone. Egypt sustained everyone. Egypt, to me, what I saw is Africa. I discovered that Africa should actually feed the world. I'm somebody that believes that the purpose of a thing is discovered by the design of that thing. To play basketball, especially to play professionally, number one, you must be minimum 6 feet. It means your design tells certain potential that you have. Let's look at Nigeria. 84 million hectares of arable land, tropical climate, 12 months of sunlight, poverty headquarter of the world. Does that make sense? By design, Nigeria should be food basket of Africa. One, Nigeria should also be food basket of the world. By design, plant grows in our asphalt. Everything says we should be food basket. By design. Why are we not? Why are we not? My second home is in Winnipeg, Manitoba. 4 months of planting in a year. Just 4 months. If you don't harvest by mid-September, you are in trouble. There's something called frost. Once frost sets on your crop, they are gone. 2022, Manitoba exported $6 billion worth of food. Exported. Manitoba didn't say Canada. 2022, Nigeria exported $1.8 billion worth of food. Manitoba exported 3 times Nigeria's food export. 4 months, 1.5 million population. Nigeria, 200 million population. 12 months of sunlight, 84 million hectares of arable land. See, when you look at this data, it tells you that there is a problem, and we are all not saying it. I needed a challenging job, was why I got into farming. But my eyes now began to open at the kind of demand, opportunities, problems that should never be. So this is a God-given vision. And everyone I talk to, we spread this. It's a vision that is bigger than us, but it's something we are doing. And we are transferring it to every one of us. But our mission is to scale up the deployment of agricultural technology. First in Nigeria and Africa. I told you this made all the difference. Technology. One of the major reasons why we are where we are today as a country and as a people is because we did not give attention to technology. Technology is an enabler. In BIC farms, we talk more about technology. We tell people why it is important. If you will do farming, don't ignore technology. Cutlass and hoes were invented 2,000 years ago. They are still the tools that we are using in Nigeria. Cutlass and hoes should only be seen in the museum. We should be telling our children, oh, those days we used in the US, in Canada, in Holland, in Spain, you don't use all these primitive tools again. Technology is key. So basically, as an organization, this is our focus, is our mission. No matter what you might have done, no matter the level you are currently, if you don't consider technology as a major enabler to your business, you're wasting your time. People you will tell, oh, a greenhouse is 5 million, it's 10 million. Instantly their mind shuts down. They stop thinking about to get, let me go and buy a farm. But sir, one greenhouse, 1 acre greenhouse will give you the result of 50 acres. In the open field. You can afford 1 acre in a peri-urban area instead of 50 hectares far in the bush where you will be kidnapped, where you will be killed, just like you said. But because our mind shuts down the moment you only think the problem. Why agriculture? Why agriculture? Without agriculture, we can never have a city. Man's population on earth exploded when agriculture was discovered. Men in the olden days, 10,000 years ago, thereabout, were foragers. They moved from one place to the other, eating grain, meat, shoot down an animal. You get what I'm saying? Any grain edible, eat, finish every grain, then move to another place. Until they found a large expanse of land with so many grains. The ones they ate on day one, few fell. And you know they were consuming. Suddenly somebody looked back and saw that the grain was growing. So it's possible to plant this thing by ourselves. Then they discovered they could plant and grow. And told themselves, we don't need to go everywhere again. We can grow it. So the discovery of agriculture is what gave room to the explosion of human race on earth. Without agriculture, there would not have been the stock market. The early stock market was produce market. Produce was a commodity for the early stock market. There would not have been a bank, our religious home, schools and colleges. Nations will not have been formed without agriculture. A German philosopher made a statement. He said that food is the beginning of wisdom. He said the first condition for putting anything into your mind is to first put food in your stomach. Without food in your stomach, your mind will not work well. And this is why agriculture is key. Africa has about 600 million hectares of valuable land, and that's about 60% of the world uncultivated land. The land under cultivation in this part of the world is cultivated by small older farmers. An average farmer here only cultivates 1 acre of land or below. And I just told you in another part of the world, one farmer, how many hectares? 800. Our yield is one of the lowest, even among third world nations. Are you shocked that Ukraine is still serving us? It's a terrible situation. And one major reason is our farming depends on rainfall. Let me make this statement. Plants don't need rain. They need water. The same way a plant does not need the sun, it needs light. We'll talk more about water, we'll talk more about light. 2/3 of Africans work in agriculture. Their source of livelihood is tied to agriculture. We still have a serious land tenure problem. A country like China has acquired over 2 million hectares of land not to grow food for Africa. No, sir. They grow food and they export it. In Ogun State, there's somewhere called Ogun. That's my hometown. You need to see how much land the Chinese own there. Growing crops that they told you cannot grow here, cultivated and exported. Investment in agriculture by us is still below the recommended 10%. Now, let me give you an example. What's Nigeria budget for 2024? 28 trillion, right? What is 10% of 28 trillion? Did we budget 500 billion for agriculture? Yes, we are not supposed to budget below 2 trillion. And we want to diversify. The average age of our farmers, 60. How many of us know the average age of a Nigerian? The average age of a Nigerian today is below 25. and the average age of our farmer is 60. Who will feed the future of Nigeria? And when I say Nigeria, Africa, who will feed our future when our farmers are going into extinct? These are challenges. What about the way our economy was construed? We have an economy that is construed as a single commodity economy. For example, in Nigeria, it was what? It was agriculture. Today, it is what? Oil. It's a major issue. We find it difficult to develop multiple sectors at the same time.